Hello everybody, Dashman here. It's that time of year again when everyone goes nuts making list videos. And because I'm a total sellout, here's my own list of the 5 best games I've played in 2016. So, in a totally arbitrary order, Reigns by Nerial. Where did this come from? Nerial gave us the simple pick up and play card game we didn't know we wanted. You play as a king who has to make decisions using a simple swipe left or right interface. You need to balance the needs of your people, your treasury, your army and your church, but if any of them gets too strong or too weak, you're out. There's tons of unlocks and a lot of emergent gameplay that spans across games. Incredibly clever. Road to Valhalla by Torched Hill. Road to Valhalla took me totally by surprise. I liked the graphical style even before I played it, but it wasn't until I felt the fluid, responsive controls and the way everything just works in time with the brilliant ambient soundtrack that I really fell in love with it. It is controller-bitingly hard in places, but the feeling of satisfaction when you pull off some of the puzzles is fantastic. Enter the Gungeon by Dodge Roll. With a company name like Dodge Roll, you'd definitely hope they knew how to make a good bullet hell shooter. And you'd be right. Enter the Gungeon has a ton of secrets and unlockables to find as you play, and enough variety to keep you coming back for a long time. Great lighting effects over traditional pixel graphics, and it runs at a rock solid 60 frames a second. You should definitely own it. Layers of Fear by Bloober Team. Horror is a gaming term that's used too liberally these days, but Layers of Fear really gets it right. Yeah, it's really just a clone of ill-fated Konami game PT, but despite being a very linear experience, it totally nails the feeling of paranoia when you approach new rooms. Even rooms and corridors you've seen before won't necessarily be the same when you turn round. The horror's much more psychological, meaning when the jump scares happen, they really do get you. Uncharted IV by Naughty Dog. Look, I've always loved the Uncharted games, flaws and all. Nathan Drake's a very charismatic protagonist, and the side characters have always been fun. The shooting mechanics have always been slightly off, and although 4 improves on that, it's still not perfect. But with the characters significantly more developed and the extra graphical power of the PS4 giving the faces more expression, Uncharted IV seems like the perfect send-off for Sony's platform mascot. Honourable mentions. Featherpunk Prime by Super Hatch Games. A side-scrolling shooter with randomly generated levels and giant mechanical flamingos? That can never be a bad thing. The slightly weird default controls threw me off, but once I'd redefined them to suit me, it felt great and the soundtrack's superb. The level design's a little bit too samey to bump it onto the main list, but everything else is rock solid. I've got high hopes for Super Hatch Games in the future. The Binding of Isaac Afterbirth by Nicholas. It's DLC, so it can't really count in the main list, but there's no way I couldn't mention the big expansion of one of my favourite games of all time. Afterbirth adds a ton of new items, a couple of new playable characters, and a whole bunch of map features and item combinations that don't appear in the standard game. I love it. Paladins by Hi-Rez Studios. Paladins is actually in beta right now, so it doesn't qualify for the main list either, but I've been playing it a lot and I've really been enjoying it. Like any free-to-play game, you do need to grind if you want the currency to unlock new items, but it's not as ridiculous as a lot of games that I've seen. And these unlockables are only aesthetic, so there's no pay to win. If you're not already playing Overwatch and Battleborn doesn't do it for you, Paladins is definitely worth a look. So those are the best games I've played in 2016. What do you think? Have you played any amazing new games this year that you think I should have included? Any you think shouldn't be on this list at all? Let me know in the comments. Have a great holiday season, whatever you're doing, and until next time, thanks for watching.